Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about this watch. Now, I've owned a few different divers over the years, and I've worn some of my dad's old watches. I'm going to start this video off with a wristwatch check, since most watch YouTubers do that. This is a watch that I put together myself. It's a panoramic case with a sandwich style dial. I quite like it. It was cheap. Leather, yes. I put leather on divers. So today I'm going to be going over this watch. The first generation of the Seiko Monster. So I do have a little bit of bias with this one because it was a gift, but I've also tried various other dive watches in this price range. So these go for about, the first gen go for about $250 on the used market. So if we take that and then we look at the SKX 007 or 009, I think this is a better watch. Now, some people are going to disagree, some people aren't. The reason why I think this is the best Seiko dive watch is, how many people have you seen wearing one? How many posts have you seen about a first gen black or first gen orange? They even made white, blue, red. I think they had some green. They had some Japanese only releases, things like that. Now, this one is I can get in there, 2002. At least that was the year it was produced. This is a very good watch. You know, I've never had it serviced. It doesn't really lose any time. And it's very, I guess you could call it durable. You know, I got this when I was either 14 or 15 as a gift for my birthday. And probably after the first year, I got it on the rubber. And then a few years later, I bought the bracelet separate. Because when I was looking for one of these, or my dad was, he couldn't find one on the rubber. So I just bought a secondhand 21 millimeter, 20 millimeter bracelet. So I've had a lot more wrist time with this than I have with this. So there are a couple issues with it, mainly being the dive bezel. So as you can see, you only get that little bit, but you got this whole other side. It does have a very good feel to it. It's very tight, even after having it for daily use for years. It does feel very good still. There's no real play in it. Everything's lined up perfectly. If you look at that, all the indices. The timekeeping is very good. The date is very easy to read at a glance with the white background. The lume, I should probably give y'all a lume shot. Let me charge this up real fast. Where did my light go? Where is that thing? And then Now, it's not going to be perfect because I got my computer monitor on, but it's still very bright for being almost 19 years old. Yeah. And it holds a charge for probably 4 or 5 hours, depending on like if you're inside versus outside. So I'm not really going to get into details of the movement, how long power reserve is, service life, when they expect you to service it, and things like that, just because it doesn't really matter, you know? It keeps good time. If you wear it every other day or every 2 days, you'll have no problem with that. So, getting into the actual watch and how it wears. It is a 42 millimeter, I believe. I don't have my calipers on me. And it doesn't wear like 42. It doesn't look like 42 either because the dial is very small in comparison to the bezel. The watch, it's pretty thick, but the way the lugs go and the way the watch wears, you don't really notice it that much. But the one thing you will notice on the bracelet especially is how heavy the watch is. I sometimes have to rethink the watch if it really is worth wearing it because it is so heavy. So going from that, setting the time. It's alright. I don't like this little piece right here. And I don't really prefer this crown here. But it's alright. So it still feels great. You know, you don't feel any grinding, you don't feel any real wear. It's not super high quality steel, so you gotta be careful you don't cross thread. But it's a very well made watch for $250. It's a Japanese movement. It's made in Japan. I don't know about the bracelet. It could be one of their Chinese made counterparts. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the best dive watch Seiko makes. You know, it's got 200 meters water resistance. I like the orange just because it's easier to see. I wear this almost every day, whether I'm in 100-degree weather all the way down to 10-degree weather. If I'm swimming in the ocean, if I'm up in the mountains, in a river, fishing, or it really doesn't matter where I am, I can wear this watch. Now, the other reason this watch means a lot to me is I've worn it on almost all the special occasions I've come to in my life. My first homecoming at school, high school graduation, prom, which I didn't really go to prom, all the awards I've been given, everything I've done, I've been wearing this watch. So it's never going to leave me, even if it does shit bricks and quit working. The first time I went camping, and the first time I went in the mountains, first time I went off-roading, basically, there's another funny story. I was wearing this watch, and we went to Arkansas, and we found, it was about 2 a.m., we were down this forest road, right after a real bad storm, and there was a washout. We got by it, but apparently this film crew didn't think anyone else could get by it, so they went around it and started filming on the other side. And lo and behold, this film crew was hunting Sasquatch or something like that, finding Sasquatch with Rob Lowe and his kids. I forget the name of the show. But yeah, I was wearing this watch. I thing that's happened. So I am biased, but if you look at the Prospex diver, Seiko Monster, it's $800, I think, and it has a newer movement. But there's really no difference. It has hackable. I mean, I'd still rather have a black or orange, maybe even a blue, over one of those for... Actually, you could probably get a black and orange and a blue for the same price. So just think about that when deciding. You know, the values there, the price retention, they're always going to be worth around $250 to $300. It may go up, may go... I don't ever think it's really going to drop, but it'll probably go up to $350, maybe, unless they keep producing monsters in the future. But if this one ever gets discontinued, these will probably go up in value, just like they did when they discontinued the monster the last time when I first bought this, or when I first got this. So compared to an SKX, I think it was a Marathon, one of their automatic dive watches. I forget the name of it in the model. And I have some G-Shocks, but I'm not really going to count those in that area. But this is the best Seiko dive watch, hands down, with value, retention, durability, and timekeeping. You can't go wrong with one of these. They do wear small, so if you have a smaller wrist, let's see, so if you can wear a 007 or 009 comfortably, you should have no problem wearing one of these. If you have to wear a 00 or 013, I think it is, they have another one called the Baby Monster. I don't know if it's actually any smaller, but I've never seen one of those, so I'm not going to recommend it. But they do have those, and I think they're cheaper than these. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at Seiko Monsters or any Seiko dive watch. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Tell me why. And I can address that in the comments, or I can make another video. Alright, thanks.